Okay, so we have a trust and we have real estate in the trust. So, first, what does that mean? Well, we have a trust agreement that is fully executed by the settlor, the person setting up the trust, and the trustee. And the settlor and the trustee may or may not be the same person, just depends on the kind of trust setup you have. We would also have a deed recorded with the clerk's office, transferring title to the real estate to the trustee of the trust. Now, that trustee has read the trust agreement. He or she is fully aware of the settlor's intentions. He or she continues to read the trust document to stay top of mind about what needs to be done. And there, the trustee has some questions. Geez, is this something that I can or should do under the circumstances? So for a little bit of fun, I thought I would bring out some examples. Now, before I do that, I wanted to step back and say that a trust would have something in the agreement as far as who's the income beneficiary and who's the principal beneficiary. Now, they could be the same individual or same parties, but let's say here we have a different income beneficiary from a principal beneficiary. So we have an individual, let's just pretend it's the spouse of the settlor receiving the income benefits from the trust. And let's say it's the settlor's child who's receiving the principal benefits from the trust. And this is during the settlor's life. There could be some different arrangement upon the settlor passing, but we're just talking about the settlor's life here. And we've got income beneficiary different than principal beneficiary. So those examples again. So let's say that the property increases in value and the trustee is wondering, can I use depreciation to transfer income to principal with the depreciation that may be allowed? The answer is no. The trustee cannot do so, as any amount of a depreciation deduction with real estate in a trust is different than the typical tax concept that you would otherwise see. Well, let's say that the property actually now decreases in value, but we have a trust beneficiary living in the property as his or her principal residence. Now, can the trustee transfer income to principal because of depreciation? The answer is still no. The trustee cannot do so. And the rules are all under the New York State's Powers and Trust Law. All right, let's think of something different now. Let's say that the trustee is looking ahead at the mortgage debt that has to be paid for the year, is thinking about transferring income to principal for this anticipated mortgage debt for the year. Can the trustee do that? Transfer income to principal for that purpose? And now the answer is yes, the trustee may do so. Well, now the trustee wants to add an addition onto the property. And now the trustee is wondering, hey, is this one of those circumstances I can transfer income to principal? And yes, the trustee can do so. Again, these are all rules under the New York State's Powers and Trust Law, and the trustee could do so as a way to reimburse principal for this capital acquisition. So if you take a step back, you're looking at a trust and transferring real estate into a trust. What do you need to think of from the get-go? Well, of course, you need to think, what is the property? Is it for residential purposes or is it for investment business purposes? Investment business purposes will likely start with an LLC or other type of entity, and that entity owning the real estate, and then the trust owning the LLC or the entity. So you have your layering techniques as far as estate planning goes. If it's residential real property, we have a different type of concern. We want to maintain our real estate capital gain exemption, if at all possible. So upon a sale of the real estate, we don't lose that very beneficial capital gains tax exemption. We also are thinking about real estate tax exemptions. We're also thinking of the step up in basis and so on. And we want to make sure that we're considering the beneficiaries. What are they looking for? What do they want out of this? So very important to think about trusts and real estate and what your purposes are and who are the people involved and what are you trying to do. And you'll work all of this out with your estate planning attorney. There are plenty of options to pursue. So this is Ruth George with Ruth P. George Law, PLLC, Trust and Estate Attorney. This video, as with any video I do put out, is for educational purposes only. It does not establish an attorney-client relationship. And I do look forward to seeing you on another video.